Here's what's coming up this hour on today's experience. Who's the dog pamperer? Also, we'll look at the difference between feeding 4,000 and feeding 5,000. Get your calculators out. In addition, we're going to look at the real source or resourcer people, or I'm going to kind of retitle that right now and call it, "Oh, no, you didn't." Can I do that? Oh, no, you didn't. All right, and then we'll close it out with Inside Out. Welcome to the David Spoon Experience, local, national, and heavenly talk. Here's what else we're looking at during the show. Lessons for surviving, living, and prevailing. Politics, entertainment, and current events. Personal revelations, spiritual observations. My life's insanities. And oy vey, so much more. Hey, we're asking you, what do you think? Give us a call at 972-445-0770. 972-445-0770. I know their numbers, and I know they can be intimidating. You look at the phone, you look at your cell phone, it's a number. Ooh, it could swallow my finger. Probably not. 972-445-0770. Any topic is open for conversation. Specifically appreciated praise reports and or prayer requests. Remember, it's not professional radio. It's just radio. It's a cross between Steve Martin, Sean Hannity, and Focus on the Family. The David Spoon Experience. So buckle up, little campers. Here we go. All righty. Shall we go right into our sponsorships? I had a chance to talk to my good friend John today. Let's keep it simple. Let me ask Wonder Julie right now, because I have a deep need to know. Is it raining out right now? Do you know that I got home yesterday? It was 4:05. I threw on my terrible clothes, my terrible gym shoes. I went out into the backyard. It's a half-acre lot. Get this, I used what is in theory... What I used was a self-propelled mower. Guess what I found out while I was cutting the grass? Guess what? Take a guess. Go ahead. It was not a self-propelled mower. Yeah, it was propelled, all right. Well, it's good for 5 pounds, I can tell you that. It's a lot to mow. It's a lot of mowing. In fact, the only thing that consumes my life when I'm home. Is there a blade up out of place? Yikes! Anyway, so I know that in the next 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 hike days, it's supposed to rain. And that means roof under pressure. And you want to make sure that that roof is inspected. You want to do it before the rains come. You want to do it during the rain. You want to do it after the rains. You want to know what's going on with your roof. You want to get in touch with John at the Blessed Roofing Company. And the reason that you want to do that is because you want somebody who will be honest and earnest and tell you it needs work, it doesn't need work, it needs replacement, it doesn't need replacement. It needs a whole new everything. He'll tell you that too. Out of pocket, that's not the problem. The inspection is free. If they replace it, it's not going to be out of pocket. If they repair it, it's not going to be out of pocket. It's likely not going to be out of pocket at all. TheBlessedRoofingCompany.com. That's their website. TheBlessedRoofingCompany.com. 469-BLESSED. 469-BLESSED. Why use him? I don't know. You're supposed to do good to all people, especially them of the household of faith. And if you're going to use a roofing company, you might as well use somebody who believes in advancing the gospel. He believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God, died on the cross, was buried, and rose again, and is at the right hand of the Father, and is going to come back. I mean, that's a brother in the Lord. And if you don't like his service, you can tell him that. Or you give him that opportunity. Give him the opportunity to show the quality of his work. There's a reason he has an excellent reputation. 469-BLESSED, 469 BLESSED, the Blessed Roofing Company.com. Thank you, John. Had a chance to talk to him today. Great guy. Next on our list, not far away, only because they are not far away, not from the Netherlands of Maui, but actually from somewhere a little closer into the culture of Europe, our very own Pamela Melchione. So either every time you hear that song, you're going to think of a pizza or you're going to think of Pamela. See? So one way or another, you got it going on. Pamela is not just a real estate agent. That is an unfortunate term from time to time. How about a real estate servant? Oh, now you're bringing out kingdom stuff. Thank you very much. I'm in a good mood. Pamela Melchione is very simple. You go to the Blessed Realty Company. Now, notice the last one's Blessed Roofing Company. This is the Blessed Realty Company. The Blessed Realty Company.com. And yes, we're going to have them both in together for interviews. Isn't that cool? They're both going to come in and both. It's good. And I think John's daughter's going to be there. I'm pretty sure. Oh, that was a good one. The Blessed Realty Company.com. All this stuff that Pamela had on the other stuff is all up there now. If you want somebody working on your stuff who is not in there because it's a hobby, but because it's a passion, not just to do it as to you as a brother or sister or even non-brothers or sisters, but to do it as unto the Lord, the best that she has the ability. That's who you want to deal with. That's who you want to talk to. Pamela Melchione, 817-505-5541. We just sent off her commercial to her last night. She's going to review it. I think we got like one change we need to make in it. 817-505-5541. Thank you, Pamela, for being a part of our show. Ready? Okay. I got some really good stuff I want to talk about. Really spiritual. In fact, in the next segment, we're going to talk about the feeding of the 5,000 versus the feeding of the 4,000. Ooh, well, how are you going to do that? Well, we're going to just see what we do. We're going to talk about the difference between the two, what it means, what it represents. And that's really important to understand. Before we get there, I do want to mention some of the important things that are on our agenda. A week from tomorrow, we have our very good friend, James Robeson, coming on the show. We have Ray Bentley going to be coming on the show in the next 2 weeks. If you're not sure who Ray is, he is an end times expert. He actually is an Old Testament expert, which is amazing. And him and I are friends. That's the amazing part. Not at all. Just telling you the way it is. But I do want to make sure that we stay on track from the spiritual point of view. We've got many things to cover. I had a great devotional morning, which always helps me function as a human being. I have been a Christian for 40 years. I've believed and understood the concept of devotions for 38 of them, but I've done like everybody else. I haven't done, I've been super diligent all the time, the way I need to be, but I have done really well in the last 22 years. I have not missed a single day of devotions with the Lord in the last 22 years. So that's not bad. Here's something that's better. I want to go another 28 years so that I can say for 50 years I spent an hour with the Lord every day. I just think that's cool. That's right. I hope he's not in rehab again, is he? Boy, oh boy. Makes it hard to do these sounds when the guy's in rehab. I don't mean that negatively. I'm just saying I hope he's not. Today is Hair Appreciation Day. Have you seen me? Have you seen my hair? You would appreciate any because there is none. I have the best budget when it comes to shampoo. Right? I take water, I slap it on my head. I just took a shower. That's what that is. That and the razor, Although, I did find that as you get older and you shave, there's more weird spots. Is that just guys? Do girls have to go through stuff like that where there's I mean, now there's spots behind, like on the top of my ears. There's hair that grows up like Wile E. Coyote or something. Like, how did that happen? I don't know. It's the ones that come out of the nostrils that bug me the most. It's like, that's what I think. So today is Hair Appreciation Day. Okay, just so you can know that. I will throw out a trivia thought for you. Not something that I had a chance to discuss with Wonder Julie. So you don't call up Wonder Julie and go, what? Because I didn't tell her. But let's see if you can get it. When is the one time in the Bible? The one time in the Bible, this is New Testament, by the way. One time, during what situation? The one time Jesus was sleeping. What's the one time that Jesus was sleeping? 972-445-0770. The one time. Now, I can tell you that long-windedness is something that a radio person really understands, which is why you got to kind of keep things tight and keep things going. But if you will look at the book of Acts and when you read Paul did a message that started in one time frame and ended in another time frame. He spoke so long that the gentleman, they think he was a young man, was sitting in a window, fell asleep during his sermon, and fell out and died. That's how long Paul talked. Then Paul stopped the sermon. He went over there. The scripture says in the book of Acts that he prayed for the young man. The young man came back to life, right? And they were all happy. And then it says that Paul carried on his message until the morning break. Can I tell you something about that message Paul preached in Acts? Listen to me very closely. Not one word of that message is recorded anywhere. The only thing that's recorded is the guy fell asleep, fell out the window, and died. So you know that expression, long-winded? The scripture, you might think, well, the scripture was being gracious to the young man. Yes, semi-revealing to Paul. If you sat in on one of Paul's meetings, bring a sleeping bag. That's what it was. Great, fantastic, super man of God. Wrote a great portion of the Bible. But long? It only takes 25 to 35 minutes to read the Sermon on the Mount. If you need to be longer than Jesus, you got your own problems. That's all I got for you. I'm sure the Spirit was leading him. Don't worry. You're listening to the David Swin Experience right here on KAAM 770, the Christian station here in Texas. Short break. We'll be back.
You used the Blessed Roofing Company, didn't you? Tell me you worked with John at the Blessed Roofing Company. Two things. One, it's in the name, the Blessed Roofing Company. Two, it's in the number, 469-BLESSED. That's 469-253-7732. But anyone can put up a roof, can't they? Can they? Oy vey. You want to walk underneath the roof that hasn't been blessed? You first. You need to talk with John at the Blessed Roofing Company. Whether it's roof repairs, a new roof, or inspections, call him at 469-BLESSED. Or go to theblessedroofingcompany.com. With the Blessed Roofing Company, you got it covered. Get it? Good. Because reliability starts at the top.
There's no need to fear. Harder, bear, come here. When Josh and Ash are feeling bummed, plus all their friends are being dumb, that's when they need some joy and fun, which they can get from their amazing son, Carter Bear, Carter Bear, Carter Bear, Carter Bear. When things seem to be going wacky, he's the spoon that makes them happy. Carter Bear, Carter Bear. Carter Bear. The David Spoon Experience. Are you sitting there at home on your computer? Or maybe driving along in your car just listening to the radio? Is that app for the station working for you? Don't you wish you could reach people for your business? Introducing the Commercial Whammy. All you need to do is call KAAM at 972-445-1700 and ask for David Spoon. Or send in an email at davidspoonmedia@gmail.com. And bam! You got your own Commercial Whammy.
It's incredible, and it's never been done before. And you can be the first person in your neighborhood to win.
What is it?
It's a contest.
How do I play?
It's simple, and there's 3 ways to win. You can go to Facebook, type in David Spoon Media, and on any Facebook post, type in the word Jesus in the comment section, and it's free. You can also send an email to davidspoonmedia@gmail.com and write the word Jesus in the subject line. Or you can go to YouTube and give a comment on any video, but you have to use the word Jesus. This is your chance to win, and it's free.
What do I win?
You can win 100 thank yous right on air. It's incredible. It's unbelievable, but it's only for a limited time. Enter now. Here's a taste. Thank you for listening to the David Spoon Experience.
Oh, welcome back to the David Spoon Experience. Thank you for joining us here at KAAM 770, the Christian station here in Texas. That's some original writing on commercial stuff, isn't it? That is original. Right. Do you like that commercial? The thank you one? And that's I'm an award-winning commercial writer. I don't know. Let's see. You want to reach the show, davidspoonmedia@gmail.com. Website, davidspoonmedia.com. On there is my 5-minute video on the difference between God's love for everybody, because he loves everybody, but then God's more distinct or distinctive love that has application to those that have an active relationship with him. So if you want to really know what's that difference, how's that work, it's right up at davidspoonmedia.com. Facebook, David Spoon Media. YouTube, David Spoon Media. I'm going to go right in, and I'm actually going to answer the question in a second. So we'll give people one more chance. And I know that Ace doesn't want to always call in and answer, and neither did Leonard, neither did Bobby. And I understand that. That's kind of how that goes. But it's still good to talk. It's still good to hear that things are reviewed in Scripture. The question really, in an oversimplification, when is the one time in the Bible that the Bible shows Jesus sleeping? During what situation? If you think you know, 972-445-0770. You should not use Google to look that up. That's not how we do things. All right, we're going to get into the difference between the 5,000 and the 4,000, the feeding of the 5,000, 4,000, right after I make a strong declaration about my wife. Okay? I'm just telling you. That's, all right. The phone's ringing, so what we're going to do is we're going to see how I stalled on that? I'm not silly. Okay? I stalled on that on purpose. I'm going to talk about my wife because I want to discuss the dog pamperer. It's the dog pamperer. My wife last night said that I am as bad as she is in being a dog pamperer. I don't know if I am as bad as my wife when it comes to dog pampering, but I'm going to tell you what happened, then you can tell me. Caller called in, what they say? Leonard. Oh, he's such a great guy. Right. Yeah. Good job, Leonard. Here's the perfect answer. Now, listen to how funny this is, though. This is why I wanted to actually share that trivia question. Listen to this. Listen. The only time Jesus is recording sleeping is during a storm when everybody thinks they're going to die. Right? But Jesus is sleeping. It says he's in the stern asleep, right? Was that a Scooby-Doo snore? Wow. I don't know if Jesus did that, but that's pretty funny. Why is that relevant is because look at the only time that the scripture notes when Jesus is sleeping. We're all freaking out and God's like going, I'm just going to take a nap. See, because we freak out. And then God's like, it's just not as important as you think it is. Relax. In fact, I'm going to take a nap. And see, we're all like, you know, they woke Jesus up. So one of my favorite stories, but they woke Jesus up. Don't you care? We're going to drown. And you know, I don't know if you've ever been woken up from a nap when you're tired. Maybe not the best moment right there in life. I bet he was really tired. And I don't think he woke up and said, flowers, peace be upon you. Here's my tie-dye shirt. Everything's cool. I think he woke up and he said, wind, waves, shut up, be quiet. And then he turned to the disciples and goes, what is the matter with you people? Because we freak out no matter what. And there's the Lord. The one example of Jesus taking a nap right in the middle of a fierce storm. Maybe in the middle of a fierce storm, we should take a nap. That's all I'm saying. There's a couple of things in scripture where Jesus really indicates, you know, chill. Like the 5,000. All right, everybody sit down. It's like, wow, sit down. All right, so we're going to get into that 5,000, 4,000 thing in one second. I just want to make this statement about my wife accusing me of a dog pamper. And I'm going to let Wonder Julie decide. That dog, my dog is Levi. He's a white boxer. He's like a scaredy cat, 75 pounds, big dog. But if you go boo and he's doesn't see where it is, he runs and hides. Okay. Neurotic does not begin to define my dog. My dog constantly is that dog that runs into his reflection in like a patio door and then can't figure out why that dog is in the way while we're going, come in here in this open door. And he just keeps trying to go through the other one. So he's not exactly, let's say, high-level intelligence, although sometimes I think he's sneakier than it seems. Anyway, he totally ignores me when my wife is there. But when I'm there, he's like Mr. Loving. Right? Mr. Love. I love Dad. Everything Dad does is great. My dad's great. He's fantastic. And every once in a while, because he shivers, I take a blanket and I put it on him because he's shivering, because he's got like really little hair, right? All the rest of the hair is on the sofa, right? Who went from him to the sofa. And so when I do that, my wife's like, you pamper him just as much as I do. Okay. However, in my defense, 99.99% of the time that she is with him, he sleeps leaning on her. Like literally, not figuratively. You know that guy from Parks and Rec? Literally leaning his body against her. Won't, if she's in the room, he won't go to anybody else. Just wants her unless you have food. Then all bets are off. I want to know, because I cover the dog because he's got such thin hair, how I'm the bigger. Am I the bigger pamperer because I do that compared to her? Does that seem fair to you? What do you think? Very good neutral political answer. I give you mega props for using high wisdom in the very good spot. Yeah, then, you know, the wife's going to come in here and she's going to go, good call, not taking a side there. 5,000, 4,000, reading this morning, just, I think we got like 4 or 5 minutes. 5 minutes, perfect. So Jesus fed the 5,000. If you were listening, you know that that's the only miracle, provisionary miracle that happened in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Cool. I mean, that's a cool thing. It's the only one, but it's one that we need to know because it has to do with supplies, right? Okay, cool, got it. But Jesus also fed the 4,000 in Matthew and Mark. So between Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there were 6 feedings. And so while I was reading it this morning, I'm asking the Lord, and I've enough commentaries to I mean, you know, I got them on discs. You could just, you know, there's 35 of them. There's 100 online. I have 4 different Greek texts. I have, you know, just the same thing everybody else has got, just ad nauseum. And, you know, you sit there and you can go get so caught up in that. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking he fed the 5,000. He had the little exchange with the disciples because, you know, they weren't responding very well to the initial process. Then Jesus feeds 4,000. And in my brain, I'm dumb enough to say, why is there 5,000, 4,000? So, of course, what I do the research. Somebody writes, and this is a big, long thing. Oh, well, 4,000 represents the Jews, and the 5,000 represents the Jews, 4,000 represents the Gentiles, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going to say one thing about that. Silly rabbit. Okay, so this got nothing to do with anything at all. One location was a little worse than the other because the feeding of the 5,000, at least they could go to villages, where the feeding of the 4,000, they were a 3 days journey away and didn't seem like there's any villages. That doesn't seem like. We know it's not the same event because in Matthew and Mark, there one event happens, and then after a passage of time, another event happens. I'll tell you what the big difference is between 4,000 and 5,000. In the 5,000 feeding, the disciples initiated the question, who's going to feed? And in the 4,000, Jesus initiated the question. That's a big difference. But here's the key, and I hope you take this with you for the rest of your life. It happened more than once, the 5,000 and the 4,000. So Jesus fed 5,000, he fed 4,000. And they needed a miracle, and God responded again to the same type of situation. And that's what we miss. It's just as plain as the nose on our face. There was a need to feed 5,000 plus men, plus women and children. And God provided that miracle. Jesus Christ demonstrated his confidence by giving thanks and passing it out. In the 4,000, the same thing happened. And what we should be getting is God will do the miraculous again if the situation warrants it. How we think of it is, it must mean this, and is this, and this, and this. How about just this? You need a miracle? The Lord comes through financially. Hey, did you notice that a couple years later, or even a couple weeks later, a couple days later, you need another miracle? The Lord comes through again. Hey, how about this? It's that the Lord responds again and again and again when we have needs. How about just that? Instead of making it fancy, let's just say, cool. That's awesome. Because I need him to help me and feed me a lot more than once. Okay? All right. You're listening to the David Spoon Experience right here on KAAM 770, the Christian station here in Texas. Taking a short break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Who is David Spoon? I have no idea. People have asked me about the David Spoon Experience.